Hello everyone and welcome to this spontaneous free live coaching session. Today we're going to be talking about how to tidy and relax your mind. We're going to be going over the first 3 lessons of the Tidy and Relax Your Mind course. And there is no excuse whatsoever for you not to follow along if you're watching this live or if you're watching the recording of this. You can look at the first 3 lessons of the Tidy and Relax Your Mind course for free. There's a free preview, so I know a lot of you that follow me here on Instagram, you already have the course. So if you don't, you can still follow along, and how you do that is go to tidymind.teachable.com. Tidy Mind is all one word. TIDYMIND .teachable, TEACHABLE.com. Go there and you will see Tidy and Relax Your Mind, and you can look into that and follow along with this lesson today. And I hope you are all doing well. I've really been thinking about, if y'all are interested in it, going over these lessons, having lives and actually going over these lessons with you together. And why are we doing this? Because we are all attached to a mind. And it is always talking. And the more we can know about this mind and learn how to care for it and learn how to manage it, the more peaceful and orderly our lives become, and less chaotic and less dramatic and less suffering. That's the key for it. The key to it for me. I really wanted to overcome all of the suffering that and the problem making, and then going into analyzing and problem solving. All of that takes time. Like, that takes your time away from you actually living the life in front of you. And I rarely lived the life that was right in front of me. I was always chasing a better life. If I do this and if I do that, and I was always chasing that better life. Now was never enough, and I always needed more. So learning about my mind, taking those first steps in how to care for your mind. Now listen, I break this down into 2 phases. If this is a new concept for you, and we're going to get into what the concept is in just a moment, but if this is a new concept for you, just know that in this phase, in the course of Tidy and Relax Your Mind, what we are doing, hold on, I've got to get rid of this text that's on top of my screen. I meant to do the whole thing where people can't text you, but okay, I'm good now. This is the first phase. What we have to do, we have to start looking at our mind kind of like a newborn baby, okay? And it gets upset over everything, and it cries, and it has a lot of needs. And I've broken the needs down to 4 basic needs: seen, heard, wanted, and safe. And so we're learning how in this first phase to be kind and compassionate and patient and tolerant with our own, this is inner child work, with our own inner child, and calming this mind. What every mind wants, the voice in the head that talks to you, that is not you, but it is a voice in the head, another text, my goodness gracious, is to have attention. It wants your attention. It wants your attention. It wants the attention of the minds around it. That's what it all comes down to. If you get down to the bottom of what is going on, what is my mind doing or trying to do, it is always working on some plan because it needs attention. Okay? That is the basic core of it. Then as we start to do that, and you start out with this newborn baby, you're going to be giving that mind a lot of attention. Okay? It's going to be coming to you, well, talk to, like, I've got this problem, and a lot of times there is no problem. It's creating a problem because it's looking for attention. And so it's creating these problems, and in the past, before you knew this stuff and you thought you were your mind, you just went off with it and you were suffering. When you don't know you are not your mind, you don't know you're not that voice in the head, you have no choice of suffer or not suffer. You're just going to suffer. There's no choice to be made because you don't know you have one. But once you start to separate, you know you have one. Then you learn to care for this mind. It starts out as this newborn, which we all know how much a newborn can need attention. It's a lot. Like it is a full-time job. and you're constantly checking in on it and seeing what it wants. Why do we check in on it? Because whatever is going on with the mind, if it is not cared for, it is disturbing our emotional body, meaning we're walking around all day, every day feeling bad and upset and sad and depressed. And a lot of times we don't even know why. Like, I don't know why I feel so bothered. I don't know. I just don't feel good. I never feel good. I always feel like something's wrong or like nothing's going to go right. Whatever it is for you, that is because your mind is causing a disturbance in your emotional body, and you are trapped in there with it and are at its mercy. But if you can learn to bring it relief, bring it down to a place of relaxing, quieting, look, I'm here, I'm going to take care of you. If you can learn how to do that, a lot of that subsides. And then space is created for you to actually live life without suffering. And that may be an odd concept for a lot of you because you're like, I don't think that's possible. It is possible. I know it's possible because I've been there. I've been right where you are, and now I don't live there anymore. And thank you, Jesus, for whatever this process was that helped me not do that. I am so grateful for it, and I'm here to now share it with you. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, I encourage you, if this doesn't click for you, there are teachers out there, and there are methods, and there are programs that can help you. Don't give up just because one didn't work for you, or I've tried this and I've tried that, and maybe you just haven't found the right thing that fits with your learning style, that is easy for you to grasp or implement. Hopefully this will be it for you, but I'm just telling you, if it's not, don't stop here. Like, keep looking, or keep asking, or keep knowing it's coming, and it will come to you to help you get a hold of this. So you've got the newborn, and then as you go through this process, you're going to start to parent it. A baby needs a lot of attention, but now a 5-year-old, you're not going to treat a 5-year-old like a newborn, right? You don't give it, you're starting to wean it off, and as it is growing up, you are starting to teach it how to calm itself, self-soothing techniques. So you're stepping in as the caretaker. Hi, Beth. Thank you so much. You're stepping in as the caretaker, and you're basically calming it down, and then you're saying, look, you'll get to a point where you say, we don't do that anymore. I'm not going to sit here and baby you like I did in the beginning. That's enough. You know how you kind of have to do with your kids, like, that's enough. I know what you're after. You're after attention, and that's enough. We're past that now, okay? And then you'll get to the point, hey, Donnie, I am so proud of you. Then we'll get to the point where, just as every kid grows up and matures, it's time to leave the house, right? And the house that you live in with them together is what I call the Tidy Mind house. And we're going to go over this in lesson 1 through 3. I'm just giving you kind of an introduction to what we're doing and why we're doing it. So you kind of got to move out of that space. And you'll still hear every now and then the mind yelling at you about something or trying to pull you into that Tidy Mind house, but you don't live in that space anymore. The space that you now live in is your soul space. You are now learning how to become stronger and more grounded, and there is support for that also. So tidy and relax your mind is the first step. So if you're new to this, or maybe you haven't mastered staying separate from your mind. Hey, Judy. If you haven't mastered that, then start here with tidy and relax your mind. And like I said, if y'all are interested, I think I would like to do some free coaching on this course, like maybe go over 1 or 2 lessons each live that we do, and then you progress as you go. So Soul Strong is when you move out of your Tidy Mind house, living with your mind, and you've got that under your belt, and you know what it is, you know the voice, you know it very well. You've come to understand your mind so much. You know its slippery slopes that it pulls you down into and drags you off into the dark. You know the lures that you're tempted to, you still have an attachment to, and you still believe in, and you still get sucked in. You know those very well. Now, you may not be able to stay out of what I call the white van with a mind, but you know it when it pulls up beside you. And it's so tempting to get in and go solve that problem or worry about that situation or judge that person or analyze that person. It's so tempting to do that. But at least you know where your work is. At least you know the tendency of your mind and the things that it can still use to grab your attention. So then you get stronger and stronger, and it's a creepier van. It is a creepy van. And you get strong. You get so strong that when it pulls up, you're just like, I really don't care. I really don't care about that anymore. You know what? I'm good. I am whole. I'm complete. I'm fulfilled. I always was. But I never knew that because you wouldn't let me know that. You kept telling me something's not right and something's broken and something needs fixed and I'm this and I'm that. And you had all these identities for me that I believed in. And now I realize I was none of that. Never was, never will be, don't need to be. You need less. You suffer so much less. And you get to live life. So let's start. Now look, if you don't have this pulled up now, you don't have to. Hey, Joanne, I keep going into the van. That's okay. It's a practice. It's just like lifting weights. Like you're not going to walk into the gym and lift the I don't really think about weights. I don't know how much is a lot, like 300 pounds, 200 pounds. I don't know. You're not going to go in there and lift the maximum weight and then, on the first day, you're going to be like, okay, give me the little 5-pound dumbbells and let me work on that for a little while. And that's fine. And now your mind will say, no, you should be able to. No, you shouldn't. You're learning and you're growing stronger. Each and every time you're able to either relax the mind or stay separate from it when it's in its suffering mode, you get stronger. And it's those little bitty wins you have to be like, you know what I did at that time? Normally that sucks me in and I go off analyzing or processing or judging people or get lost in my mind about this or that. But this time I was able to see it when it happened and I said, no, thank you. Like, no, thank you. I don't want to go there with you again. Because when you get in that white van, you're always going to be taken to some really dark places. The white van can also promise you that you're going to go play in some really light, bright places. And you get attached to that too. And both sides are dangerous. And if you've been following the post, I talk about that a lot. And you can catch up. Those are recordings. You can listen to them at any time in the middle of the night that you need to. So let's get started. Tidy and relax your mind on tidymind.teachable.com. Like I said, whether you've already purchased this course, I think it's $47 to get the full 30 days, or you can just follow along today for free. It's a 3-day free trial, whatever. And then you can also join Soul Strong, which is where that's the destination where you're wanting to end up. But that course is free within that subscription. It's a $4.99 a month. I mean, you spend $60 for the whole year, and you get 3 full courses. You get to know me really well because I post my journal entries in there on things my mind says and the white vans that pull up beside me. And I've just conquered my mind's need for validation, which I have to celebrate that a little bit because that has been a really big challenge for me not to get sucked into that one. So let's go. All right, so I have it pulled up. If you are watching the replay, pull it up. If you're watching it live and you're not somewhere where you're driving or whatever, you can pull it up too. tidymind.teachable.com. Thank you, Beth. I am quite proud of myself. I suffered a lot over that one. A whole lot. Okay, so in the very first, as you go into the course, you will see the very first lesson is called Beginning to Separate from Your Mind. And I'm just going to read this for you here. To keep your mind clear and tidy by knowing your messmaker, DJ Judge the mind. In the beginning, when I came up with this process, I have many names for the mind, but when I first started it, I called the mind, or the voice in the head, DJ Judge. Okay? And you can just shorten that to DJ. And the reason I called it DJ Judge is because DJ is always spinning records for you. There's always some commentary going on in your head, and a lot of times it is very judgmental. There's a lot of judgment going on. It's judging you, it's judging other people, it's judging the experience you're in, and it plays the same stuff over and over and over. And I think the first week, you get to know what those records are that you're listening to over and over and over. And I guess I would call that the white van now. Like, that's what it's pulling up and trying to get you to engage with it, with that commentary or those records that it's playing. So that is why it's called DJ Judge. So this week's focus, this is day 1 through 7, and I think we're just going to cover 1 through 3 today for time's sake. This week's focus is separating from DJ Judge. One of the best tricks for separating from DJ is to change your language. As long as you continue to identify with the mind by thinking it is you, you are powerless to change your inner state. Wherever your DJ Judge or your mind says, whenever your DJ Judge or your mind says, I feel, I think, I say, I am this, I am that, you will change the language to DJ says, DJ feels, DJ thinks, DJ is this, DJ is that. You get my point here. You're trying to come over here. Let's get our fingers back out. We're the observer of DJ. And the only way we can become the caretaker of this DJ is to separate. If we are it, we don't know that we're separate. There's nobody home. It is like a wild teenager, and there is nobody watching it. There is nobody monitoring it, and it is in full control, and it is controlling your actions, your reactions, who you get in a relationship, the jobs you take, the houses you buy, the places you live, everything, how you spend your money. It controls it all because nobody's home. Oh, guys, it creates such a mess. Oh, Lord, it creates a big fat mess. And then you suffer from the things that it created when nobody was home taking care of it. And it's also carrying all this baggage of the past, and it's going off of how it was parented when it was a kid. You know, it's bad news, okay? So to get your power to have a choice, lights are on, but nobody's home. Yeah, a lot of times you look like that when you're being controlled by your mind. It's like, what is she doing now? So you want to be the caretaker. You want somebody caring for this mind. Promise you that. What DJ will do, if you're blended here and you're not separate and you're the caretaker, guess what DJ will do? He'll go find his own caretaker on the outside of him or her. And that is so dangerous, because then you attach to another person's mind, and they may be totally possessed by their mind. And you're wanting them to care for your mind? That's just crazy taking care of crazy. I'm sorry if that word is offensive or anything. I don't mean anything negative or bad by it, but that is just insanity, taking care of insanity. That is like two insane people caring for one another, and you're attached to that person. No, okay. You are the only one. You. Me, myself, and I. This relationship, if you want to make any relationship the center of your universe, it's this one. Not any relationship on the outside of you. It's this one with you, God, and this mind that you're caretaking. That is it. Like, that is your business right there. Take care of that. So you have to separate. And the good way to separate is when you hear that voice talking and it's using the word I am this, I am that, I think that, I feel this. Switch it and say, DJ is feeling this, DJ is feeling that. And it helps you kind of look at it and say, oh, okay, well, what can we do about that? Now you have a choice and you don't feel you're not hostage to this mind anymore. By separating, you will put yourself in a space of relief from the emotional pain that is being created and now have the power to work with the mind. That is a very powerful sentence in that what we are all looking for is relief. Every single one of us, that is the basis of what we are searching for. Why? Because when you're in relief, you're not in resistance, you're in acceptance, and that automatically puts you in alignment, and in alignment with God or your source. That's how it feels to be in alignment. You feel relief. Hey, Carrie. It's okay. Better late than never. I will go back over that. Let me finish this thought right here. Separating from the mind is step 1. Understanding the mind is step 2. Loving and comforting the mind is step 3. This is where you learn to reparent yourself. Maybe as a child, when your mind had the caretakers of your parents, maybe they were totally possessed by their mind and their mind was taking care of your mind. And they didn't know how to do it in a kind, loving, compassionate understanding. They didn't know how to meet the needs of that young mind. They didn't know how to make it feel seen, heard, wanted, or safe. You're now learning how to do that for yourself. This is meeting your own emotional needs, or the emotional needs of the mind. This, who you are, your soul, your spirit, doesn't need that. It doesn't need any of that. It just needs its relief and its alignment with God. Now, your mind has emotional needs, okay? And so you're learning how to care for that, and that keeps it from attaching to another person. We call that codependency. That's how we keep it from going out and looking for somebody else to caretake it. And usually what it will do is it will find somebody just like its parents, one of its parents. Usually the one that it needs to learn the lesson around. So you'll marry your mother, you'll marry your father, because your mind is looking for that caretaker. Well, who's going to make me feel this and who's going to make me feel that? Well, I better go find somebody that stimulates those emotions within me, even if they're not positive emotions. Because that's what it knows of being cared for. That's how it felt as a child. So it's dysfunctional, but it doesn't know it's dysfunctional. So it seeks that out. Oh yeah, you remind me of, you make me feel kind of like how they did. So, yep, I'm attracted to that for some reason. You're looking for a caretaker outside yourself again, and it is not good. Carrie, DJ spins records, and there's commentary running around in your mind, and it plays it all day long for you, and it's usually judging a person, judging a situation, judging a life experience. So it's talking to you, and it's playing the same records on a loop a lot of times. So that's why it's called DJ Judge. So you will be repeating this process as often as needed until the mind begins to unwind, calm, relax, and develop healthier habits. So it's learning, that how I was treated growing up, that's not normal. Like, I'm actually supposed to be treated with kindness instead of criticism. I'm actually supposed to be treated with understanding and patience instead of push and pressure. I'm actually supposed to be... So you're reparenting. And you're healing this mind from the negative effects, because it learns these things and it passes it down to its kids, right? Yeah, it does. So the more you can heal it from the past, the more it starts to calm and heal and unwind and realize that wasn't a healthy way to be. Because your mind will, when it is upset, it will attack. It will attack you. inside your head. And it will sound like your parent's voice because that's the only thing it knows. Think about that one. It replaces that parent's voice. Because it's like, I'm going to attack this. It's attacking you as the caretaker, but you don't even know you are the caretaker. So you just believe everything that it is saying as it's criticizing you, and you're this and you're that, and you should be doing this and you should be doing that. And it's a negative habit that it has because that's what it learned. So it is relearning now because you are becoming the teacher. You're kind of becoming your own therapist here. And this is why it's, to me, such an important process, because in this, you know, like there's an end point. Like there's a place of, yeah, it's good now. Like a lot of times when you're working with the mind, it's so vague. It's like, well, how do I know if I release that? Or how do I know if I'm better now? Or how do I know? Your mind will always keep that diagnosis forever, because a lot of times your mind will get attention from that diagnosis. But with this, it's like, let's heal it and let's leave it. Let's don't keep it alive. Let's don't get stuck in our healing process. Let's heal it and leave it and live our lives. Now, there are some mental health issues that are chemical, and there are some that are behavioral, and there are some that are both. I'm not talking about the chemical ones, okay? The ones that are like you actually do need a medication to balance out the chemicals in your body because of whatever reason they're not in balance. I'm not talking about that, okay? I'm talking about problems your mind created, and you believed that you were this or that, and now you're stuck in those behaviors with that diagnosis, and you have identified as, I will always be this for the rest of my life. There's some things I could say, but I'm going to refrain from saying it because I have some strong opinions, and that's probably my mind talking to you, so I'm going to stay out of there. Okay, so we may just get through lesson 1 today. I'm sorry, I'm rambling a lot. I do that. Today's practice, sit and take inventory of your tidy mind house. Now, if you go in here, I think I fixed it. I think you can actually get the map now. Let me click it and make sure. No, I thought I had fixed it. Anyway, I will fix that. Where you can get the map. Let me look. Yes, I did fix it. So don't click the links within the lesson. There's a whole separate section that says Tidy Mind Map plus videos. You can find the map there, and then there's a picture of it, then there's a PDF of it, then there's like videos about it. There's a part 1, 2, and 3 about the Tidy Mind house, breaking it down for you. There's a ton of content, okay? And then there's 2 other videos about it, and it's all on the same page. So you should be able to, I will make that so that you can preview it with the lessons. And you can look at that map and just kind of get an idea. I'm not going to go into all that today. It's right there for you, and like a ton of videos that will explain it to you. But on our next session, I will break it down. I've done that before in previous lives, but I will break down the Tidy Mind house and the rooms within the house, and why we use the house, and the helper rooms in the house, and you can see all of that. I'm just going to, give me just a second. I'm going to, while I'm talking to you, because I know me and I know my mind, and I know that I may forget to do this after we hang up here. I'm going to make that a free preview so that you can see it on the course. I think it may already be, but yes, nope. Okay, I'm going to make it a free preview. Okay, now you can see it. Now you can see the Tidy Mind. Yeah. Now it's there. You can see the map. You can download the PDF if you want to print it out. and you can see lesson 1, 2, and 3 on the free preview. If you have the course, you have access to all of it. If you're in Soul Strong, you have access to all of it anyway. So begin to separate from your mind. Let me see if there's anything else I want to talk to you about lesson 1. We may just have 30 lunchtime lives about the Tidy Mind, going through the Tidy Mind course. I don't know, because I give a lot of content because I ramble a lot. But that's okay. I love that about myself. Okay, so you will be repeating this process of separating from the mind, understanding the mind, and loving and comforting the mind as often as needed until the mind begins to unwind, calm, relax, and develop healthier habits. Today's practice. Sit and take an inventory of your Tidy Mind house. Okay, so don't have to know the rooms of it yet. Just imagine that your mind, that voice in your head that we're starting to call DJ now, is talking to you and has disturbed your emotional state. So just check in. What state is your house in? Would you say it's messy in there? Would you say it's nice and peaceful and calm and not really thinking about anything or worried about anything? I've just been doing life. And if you're there, like, amazing, go for that. Or you may be like I was in the beginning, and I'd have moments of that, and then I'd have moments of being in deep, dark despair. So what state is it in right now? What state are you in emotionally? Check it out. Thank you, Carrie. Check that out. Just check within yourself right now. Are you at peace? Are you mildly bothered about something, but you're not really sure what it is? Are you super bothered about something and you know exactly what it is? Just know. Just check in. Okay, all right, I see. Maybe you're super bothered about something. You know exactly what it's been talking to you about. You know the records it's been spinning for you. And you've been listening to them, and you've been giving them your attention because you didn't know you had a choice but to give it your attention. You've been listening to it. You've been believing it. You've been going off into the dark with it. You've been analyzing it. You've been overthinking it. You've been trying to fix it. You've been worrying about it. You've been doing all those things. Kim, the PDF is in the Tidy and Relax Your Mind course. It's in the first section, and you just click it. It says Tidy Mind Map plus videos, and you'll find it there. And then you ask yourself, does it feel confusing, overwhelming, or messy? Number 3, if you close your eyes, can you see DJ Judge running around in there? Close your eyes. Can you see your mind? When mine's wild and crazy, I can close my eyes and I can see this space. It's a house for me. And I see it, and it is, it'll be running from room to room to room, just pulling out this and pulling out that, and there's no structure to it. It's just insane. And I just watch it, and I'm like, wow, you were really worked up about something. What is he or she doing in there? And once you learn the rooms, you can know which room they're going to. I'll tell you briefly, okay? It's the God room, the people room, it's the future room, the people room, and the past room, okay? Future, present, which is your people, and then past. That's the 3 main rooms. And it's running around in one of those, okay? What emotional feeling is blowing through your house most often right now, and why? What are you feeling in your emotional body? Is it sadness? Is it overwhelm? Is it anxiety? Is it anger? Is it jealousy? Is it rage? It doesn't matter what it is. It's just an emotion. Emotions are not bad. We're going to learn that. Emotions are neither bad nor good. It's just like the weather. It's just what it is and what needs to happen on that day. That's all it is. As long as the mind doesn't make up a story about that emotion and then make you stuck in it. That's what causes the problem, not the emotion itself. We're not running from emotions, people. We're not trying to never have another negative emotion ever again. That's not the point of this. We're trying to allow those to come, let them blow on through, release, and carry on with our day. Because they usually don't last long unless our mind makes a story around it. Okay. what emotional feel? I asked you that one. Number 6, what audio or thoughts are being broadcast inside your house? Number 7, what are your hopes for your Tidy Mind house? What would you like to feel? What are your hopes for DJ running around inside the house? Number 9, what type of emotions would you like to have blowing through your Tidy Mind house? So this gives you things to think about on lesson 1. That's all we're going to cover today. I'm sorry. It's going to be a 30 lunchtime live videos. And listen, last year I did lunchtime lives every Friday at 12 Central, and I'm not sure I'm settled enough. I'm moving houses. I'm not sure I'm settled enough to commit to a certain time, but I may do these spontaneous lives such as I'm doing now and do free coaching sessions. There's a replay, like you can just watch the replay if you don't catch it live. It's not a big deal. I'm not live on YouTube today, but I normally go live I'm not going to be able to say that word. So at the same time, I go live on YouTube as I do Facebook. So you can watch it there as well. And it's just called Tidy Mind. That's my YouTube channel. Take a moment and imagine that you are opening every window in your Tidy Mind house. Once you go through those 9 questions, just open the windows. Make a commitment to yourself and to DJ that over the next 30 days, and it doesn't have to be over 30 days, we should say lessons, over the next 30 lessons, you will do everything you can to make this house a better place to live. You are creating a space where your mind is, at first, seen, heard, wanted, and safe. You are reparenting it so it can heal. And when it's healed, it becomes quieter and way less needy. But it will always be around kind of looking for attention, just not as much as it is in the beginning, okay? You know, I say always, I don't know. I think if you get grounded enough in that soul space and further along in this practice, I can't testify to it because mine still, not often, but mine still comes up with something it's wanting attention over. It's really very rare now. My latest big one was validation. Oh, thank you, Beth. And whoever else that was above that. Anyway, that was very kind of you. But you'll start to see what's still left over. Like, what does it still get needy about? And what is it wanting attention about? And that gets less and less and less, which what that means for you is your emotions are disturbed less and less and less. You're able to stay in emotional stability more and more and more often. And when you're in emotional stability, you feel it's not always happy. It's not, on the extreme of bliss and euphoria. You're not in those states all the time. You're just not bothered. You're calm. You're in the in-between, as I like to call it. You're at peace. It's not happiness, it's peaceful. It's content. It's fulfilled. And you're able to feel that more often. And when you're there, not being distracted by your whiny mind, DJ, when you're not being distracted by that, you can actually live your life. And you can actually give attention then to the things that need to be given attention to. The people in your life, the house or the environment in your life, the things you want to give attention to, the beauty around you, the birds, the trees. You start noticing things because you're not living in your head anymore. You're not living in that mental plane anymore. Life becomes very different and quite simple and ordinary, actually. So, open every window. Just let that, whatever feeling you want to, which is relief, let some relief flood in through there. And then just commit that you're going to do this. You're going to do this for yourself, okay? Then there's a step 2. Make room for joy, which I use the word joy because that's what we were doing with Valerie. She was talking about wanting more joy in her life, but I'd like to replace that now with peace by tidying up and cleaning out the emotional clutter. Today's practice, grab a journal or notebook that you will use for the next 30 days and entitle it Boxes of Feelings. We're going to look at your emotions. We'll be identifying, sorting, unpacking, and releasing stored emotions or stored fear. This is how we get tidy. What we're tidying up is fear. The things your mind is afraid of. The things your mind is attached to. The things your mind thinks it has to have or it absolutely needs to be okay. And none of that is true. It doesn't have to have. That's the mind. If I have to have something, I think I have to have this, or I have to have that, or I need this. That's your mind talking through you. That's DJ. You as your soul are complete, fulfilled. There's really very few actual needs. Your physical body will need food, shelter, water, and what's the other one? I don't know, whatever. You know what the basic needs are for your physical body. But as far as emotional needs, I mean, you're complete. You're at peace. You're content. That the neediness has ended. The result is a feeling of lightness and increased feelings of relief in the physical body, which I'm telling you is what we're wanting to flood this space with. We're wanting to flood you with relief, push out the fear, and flood in relief, because if you're in relief, you're not suffering, right? Step 3, appreciate your tidying work by noticing the moments of relief, contentment, and enjoyment, and you will start to notice those. We are just getting started, so you may not have any moments of relief or enjoyment to notice just yet. We will be creating a habit over the next 30 days of noticing and appreciating those moments as they come. At first, you may notice them, but your mind will not allow you to enjoy them because it is not relaxed enough yet. Yeah. Because it's still talking too much in the background. It is still holding on to too much fear. However, by the end of 30 days, you should be able to find joy or peace in the simplest of moments. So it will happen. However, you may kind of go back and forth. You may have moments where you go back into the dark and you get stuck in the dark for several days and you're like, Angie, like I'm stuck. When you join this course, there's a comment box and I do respond to those comments there. So if you have questions as you're going through it, I will answer those questions. So that is today's lesson. I had this big old plan. I was going to get through 3 of these lessons, but we got through the first one. So on our next live, whenever that may be, I will be talking to you on lesson 2. I am not my mind, and if you want to go ahead and get a head start of that, you can, because there's a 3-day free preview. Go ahead and take advantage of that. If you want the course, it's $47, or you have the other option of just becoming a Soul Strong member for $4.99 a month. You could even just do it for this month and cancel it, like if you wanted to. Like if you don't have $47, whatever. I really don't care. Like I actually just want peace. Because the more, that's a deep conversation, but the more you release and clean up, it helps us all. Okay? It helps the whole world. So I want it for myself. I want to get really grounded in it, and I want to take as many people with me as I possibly can. So think about that if you want to, and I'd love you to join us. So on our next live, I'll try to announce it next time when we're going to lesson 2, and I will see you then, I guess. Does anybody have any questions before I go? I guess I could do like a 15-minute. See anybody have any questions about the content that we covered today? You're very welcome, Kim and Carrie and Beth. Thank you, Beth. Oh, also in Soul Strong, I didn't mention this, but there are 3 audiobooks that you also get. You can buy the audiobooks outright if you want to. You can go to the link in my bio on Instagram, or I think that's probably the only place you can access them. But if you want to just buy them, they're $8.99 each. But if you want to get them for free, you can. That's part of the perks of being a Soul Strong member, is you get that for $4.99 a month, and you can go in there and listen to those audiobooks of the journals. So you can just listen solid to everything that I talked about through December, and then January, and then February. And I'm still, of course, it's March, so I've not finished that one yet, but you can listen to where we are so far, which is up through, I think my last post was on the 16th, 2 days ago. Hey, Jamie. Yeah. It's good to see you and hear you too. Okay, so that is it for today, and thank you all for joining me, and we will do lesson 2 on some spontaneous live next time. But if you don't catch me live, you can just watch the replay. Okay? Everyone have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you at some point next week for lesson 2. Thanks, guys.